the MS Michigan Man 64 podcast. My name is Brian Wallace, and I am the MS Michigan Man 64. The MS Michigan Man 64 podcast is about chronic disease awareness. I have had multiple sclerosis for the last 27 years. It's an invisible chronic disease that I've been battling for half of my life. I want to share with you what it is like living with the chronic disease from my experiences and the experiences of other chronic disease warriors. We can fight to have a voice to those that want to listen. Together, we can motivate and educate. Hi, welcome back to the MS Michigan Man 64 podcast. Today, I am talking with another MS warrior from the state of California. Her name is Leena. How are you doing today, Leena?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. So, Leena, you are a multiple sclerosis warrior. How did you come to getting your diagnosis? Like, what were the symptoms that led up to your diagnosis, and what was that path like for you on your diagnosis?
I got diagnosed in 1998, and I started with optic neuritis in my right eye, and so I couldn't see. And then I knew I had a problem. And after my MRI, they told me I had MS, and I didn't know what that was. And I had no idea until I researched it, and I'm like, oh, no. And my father-in-law told me to go on homeopathic medication, which I did for 20 years. And after that, it started wearing off. And that's when I finally got treatment for this. I was on Kimsimpta, and that didn't work for me. And now I did HSCT. And which is the stem cell treatment.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, yeah.
So
I did that.
So wait, I got to stop you on that one because I have so much interest in that treatment, but it's not offered in the United States, and I don't know a whole lot about it other than what I've read on the internet. Take me through how you went to come up with the idea of even going down to Mexico and take us through that path.
Well, I watched Selma Blair and her journey, but she got her HSCT in Chicago and then offered here because she was on trial, and they offered it in Mexico. So I hopped on the plane and I took the 1 month journey there, and it was interesting. It was a lot of shots and we did chemo twice. And I got back, I thought I would be a changed person, be running around, but I was totally wrong. I'm just not. Yeah. I'm still on a walker. I have a walker, and I've been on for a couple of years now. And I don't think the treatment did anything for me yet. Yeah. But it has been my 2-year mark, so hopefully it will.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope.
I would hope for you to get the good effects that I've seen and read about. But another thing that is really concerning for people is, okay, you're going to go to Mexico to have this treatment done, but it's not covered by insurance. So is there what was the ballpark figure that you had to spend out of pocket to go and get that treatment?
My treatment was $54,000. Wow. Now it's $57,000, and out of Clinica Reese, that was the name of the treatment center I was in for a month, and everybody was super nice, but it was, very costly. Very costly. But the food was really bad. But who cares? You're not there for food. You're there to get treatment. Yeah. And so it's a month, and I just stuck with it, and hopefully 2 years, something will happen. Yeah. But I can't guarantee that.
Absolutely. No, and I completely understand that because, you were diagnosed right around the same time I was, 97, 98. I was 97, you were 98. And, I know when we were diagnosed, there was no internet, so we couldn't do any research on it. It was kind of just live and learn with it. And then, we start grasping at anything that we can see that may be a sign of some kind of relief from this disease. And that HGT is exactly that. And people, they want relief, and that's all they're looking for. And people are willing to pay that amount of money to just to get that relief.
Yeah, at that point, I was so desperate. I didn't care how much it cost. I just wanted this to be gone. But obviously, there's no cure for MS. And that was my mindset after seeing Summer Blair and what she went through. And hopefully, she's okay now. But, walk with the cane and with the walkers, it's hard. But I just wish her the best. I wish everyone the best with MS, because it's not easy. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Some days you feel like shit, and I did. And some days you feel great. So it just depends on the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how you feel. Some days you're happy, some days you're sad, some days you want to cry, but you just don't know.
Yeah. And that'll bring me to my next question. So you have your swings emotionally. How has this disease affected your mental health?
Well, I'm on Wellbutrin because I'm semi depressed, but this has definitely gotten me to the point where, I'm thinking, so if my future is nobody, I'm not going to have anybody, I'm not getting married, I won't have anybody to, hang out with. That was my mindset. So I started crying because I was thinking of that. Yeah. And people hey, think of your mindset and, be positive. Yeah. I'm trying. Sometimes you can't. You can't do it.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing to reach out for that help. I know I struggled with that in my diagnosis when I was 27. I was young and I was invincible and I could run through a brick wall, and I kept on denying that I was depressed after my diagnosis. And it was probably like 15 years into my diagnosis that I finally said, you know what, I definitely need to talk to somebody. And I wish I had done that so much sooner, because the relief that I had received, because they put me on Effexor, and I've been on it ever since. And it pretty much saved my life, because I really didn't want to live at one point, and until I started getting the treatment for my mental health.
Well, I guess that's pretty common with MS. It's like, you just have this, I don't know, it's a mental thing, this mindset. Like I said, some days it's good, some days it's not.
Yeah.
So for me, it's been okay, because it depends on your life and what's happening. If things are happening in your life, things are great, your friends are great, your family, everything is great, yeah, you'll be just fine. But when it goes downhill, forget it. You're screwed, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, people that don't have MS, I just don't have to explain it to them. It's not easy.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not easy. It's I think it's been a 27-year journey for me, just explaining it, because people don't get it. If we're not feeling it one day and we're supposed to be somewhere and we really don't want to go, we still sometimes we try to push ourselves, and it's not the best thing to do. And then if we do cancel, everybody's thinking, well, why don't they want to come over? And it has nothing to do with you. It's because I just feel like shit today.
That's true. No, you're absolutely right. And people don't get it. I mean, I would even say my family doesn't get it. Nobody gets it. And it's just, I would think in my family, I'm the only one that I know of. I asked my aunts and my grandparents if there's anybody else that has MS, and nobody else in my family does. They have cancer, but not MS.
I'm identical to you. My mom and my dad and my mom are both passed away, and my dad and my mom both died of cancer, one lung cancer and one breast cancer. And I have nobody on my dad's side or my mom's side, as far back as we can go, uncles, cousins, everybody that has ever had MS. I'm like the lucky one that got the diagnosis in the family. But yeah, I'm it. I'm the only one.
I mean, they say it's not hereditary, but I think it has a lot to do with hereditary. like cousins and family. It just from what I heard from people that have MS and their family has it, like their mothers have it, the sisters, whatever. Everybody seems to have it in the family, so it has to be hereditary. I don't understand why they're saying it's not.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
so like the girl I was with in Mexico, her mom has it, and so she and her family has it. A couple of them in the family have it. So she came to Mexico right away to HSCT treatment in Mexico when I was there. And so she wanted just to, for it to be done and just to be out of the way and start progression. Because that's the whole point of getting HSCT was to stop the progression, which it did. Yeah. It did stop the progression.
Yeah.
But okay, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
How do I stop using a walker? How do I get my balance back? How? I just don't understand. But nothing as of right now.
And I honestly, I don't know the right or wrong answer to this. I've had this debate with other MSers before, and I've heard both sides of it. But I don't think that, if they ever did get a cure, I don't think that people that have had it as long as we've had it are going to get the same benefits as a person that has only had it for maybe 5 years. Because we've had more damage, more years of damage, and I mean, I think that we're close to getting some kind of okay, we can stop this thing dead in its tracks, or we can cure it. But I don't know how much it'll really help myself is my opinion of that.
I think at this point, for me too, because I mean, it's the same amount of years I've had it, and I just feel like it's just gotten, I mean, it was fine. In the beginning, I was walking just fine, running, no problem.
Yeah.
But as the years gone on, it got, then I started noticing it. I'm like, okay, something has to be done. Why am I using a cane? What's happening? Yeah. And then my neurologist was like, oh, no, you use a walker. I'm like, no, I barely use a cane. Now I'm a walker, forget it.
Yeah.
But now I depend on this walker, and I don't want to be.
Yeah.
And I just want something that can help me just to stop using it.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's a never-ending struggle, and I used exercise a lot in my 27 years to try to keep me standing and upright. And I'm a firm believer that exercise is a huge plus for us MSers. Just because you want to keep everything firing, all those nerves firing, and
that's right.
And I think that is such a huge defense in this disease, along with your DMTs or however you're doing it. If you're doing it holistically or whatever, I think exercise needs to be involved a lot in your fighting this disease.
Yeah, I mean, like I just do a stationary bike. I do a Peloton. And I do that every day, and it helps me to get my legs moving, and then helps you. Then you do your arm weights, and that helps too. So everything helps. I mean, but you have to do it. You can't just not do it because when I don't do it, and I feel it.
Yeah.
And I know that I need. If I was out for 2 weeks, I hurt my back, and so I couldn't exercise. Yeah. But then I got back on Peloton. I'm like, okay. I was really missing this. So it was really hurting me a lot when I was off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So exercise, I think it's very important. 100%, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% too. So you said that you had a bad back, and that's what made me think of this, because I have back issues too, and you go to a chiropractor, and so do I. Does that help with your MS symptoms at all?
Well, not really.
No?
I was mostly going to my back. I mean, for MS, I don't know if do you go to a chiropractor for MS? I don't even know.
I actually talked to a lady, in my third episode of the podcast. Her name's Maria, and she actually doesn't take any DMT, and she went to a chiropractor. And she's had primary progressive for about 12 years, and she's actually out of a wheelchair and walking. about a year,
Really?
a year of going to a
Oh,
chiropractor. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So
oh, that's fantastic.
I definitely think that chiropractors do have a place, because I've heard of a lot of MS patients actually going to a chiropractor. I go to a chiropractor. He has helped me. Actually, I think I walk a lot better since I've started seeing him than I was before I started seeing him. And I've never been a fan of chiropractors up until about a year ago. So, but I'm
I
desperate.
see.
I'm desperate. I'll try anything, and if I'm getting a positive result, I'll stick with it.
No, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I just was going to my back. I never asked about MS, but she knows I have it.
Hmm.
But I don't never have gone to her in regards to just MS.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
I saw her just today, so I can see her. I'll see her next week
Yeah.
and just ask her about that because I'm kind of clueless about that stuff. But
Yeah.
I want to know
Yeah.
if that, like you said, I'm desperate too. Last time I went to Mexico, I was desperate to get something, just some relief.
I get it. I
And
get it. I know
yeah,
we're all desperate, and if some like I said, if something helps me, I'm willing to share it. Not saying that it's going to help somebody else, but if it does, I'm all for it.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I
So,
saw on your Instagram, I think you saw have like 3 supplements that you take.
that that
One's a lion's mane,
yeah,
and one.
that was actually
Okay.
from the Maria episode, that episode 3. That
Oh,
those are her supplements that she uses to fight her primary progressive MS. Yep.
oh, okay,
Yeah. So,
okay.
so
'Cause one of them
oh,
looked
I'm sorry. Go
interesting.
ahead. Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
really made me start thinking. I'm very curious as to if should just start taking those supplements also on top of my DMT. I don't think I want to come off of my DMT. I don't think I have. I'm not brave enough to do that after being on one for so long. But
Yeah.
I definitely, I don't think it would hurt me taking them along with the DMT.
Okay. Well, I think I don't know. It's for natural stuff, and hopefully it's okay. I don't know much about that,
No,
but
I
that
don't.
would be great
Yeah,
if we could.
yeah, yeah. So you said
Cause the
you have children. When they got old enough to understand the MS, how did they like deal with it? Their mom having MS.
well, my son is now 20. I told him when he was maybe 15, and prior to that, he didn't even know. And then the first question to me was, "Are you gonna die?" And I said, "Baby, there's no way I'm dying.
Yeah,
I'm trying to take care of myself, trying to eat healthy. I'm trying to exercise and doing whatever I have to do." And he goes, "Just don't die." And he was like crying so bad.
yeah,
And I felt so sad because I even tell him after all those years, he never knew.
yeah,
But he, I guess he's in college, but he's okay. I guess he knows that sometimes I have my ups and downs, and
yeah,
he deals with it. But he's across the country, so he has to deal
yeah.
with it that much anymore.
Yeah, yeah. But
It's
no,
okay.
I totally get it when kids I mean we kind of did a different approach when I had kids and my kids were right around the same age as my son's 26 and my daughter's 22. But they've known
Okay.
me their whole lives with multiple sclerosis, and I've never really hid it from them. I actually would let them push the plunger on my Copaxone shot when I would stick it in my leg,
Oh,
just to
okay.
get them involved in it, just so that they understood. Okay, dad has to do this shot every day. There's something wrong, and I don't know the right or wrong answer to that, whether it's good to not tell them or to tell them, and I don't know. I'd probably have to have an interview with my daughter and ask her that question. Maybe that would be a good episode.
Okay. Well, I was told by my in-laws not to tell people that I have MS, and I don't think that was a good idea because everyone should know, and they should and help you and talk to you about it. I'm like, just hiding it was just really hard. I'm like, I had to hide from my family and my aunt. my cousins, everybody. And
Yeah.
then I don't think that was a good idea. The better idea when I got divorced, the first thing I did was tell everybody that I had MS
Yeah.
because they all should know.
Yeah.
And I did, and I feel so much. I just feel better. I just feel more. I don't know. It just really like relieved a lot of like stress that I had on my body.
Yeah.
Just relieving that.
Yeah. And I can completely agree with you on that, because when I first got diagnosed, I didn't want anybody to know. I mean, I had like a really tight circle of family and friends that knew I had MS, but I didn't even really want to even talk about it with anybody. And I don't think I agree with you. I think that was the wrong approach, because you need as much support systems as you can possibly get. And I wish I had like been more open about my diagnosis, but I mean, I can't change what I did in the past. I can only try to help people that are just starting out with this disease now, that are going through that embarrassment stage. And you have no right to feel embarrassed about this disease. We didn't ask for it. We didn't
No.
we didn't sign up for this. We're just the ones that got picked, and we're the ones that had to learn how to deal with it, and that's why we're warriors.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to that 100%. But I just feel like, just everyone knowing, like my cousins and everyone asking me and coming over to help me, like even clean out, cook, or do something really helps me a lot. And it just having that support has helped me so much because I never had it before. Because I never loved to tell anybody.
Yeah.
I told my sister, but that was about it.
Yeah.
It's the only person I told. And that was kind of hard when you're holding a secret like that, a huge secret like that.
Yeah,
From people.
Yeah, it weighs on you mentally. I mean, that's another mental drain that's adding to your depression and everything else, I think. Yeah.
I agree.
So what kind of work do you do, and are you still able to work?
I can't go in the office. I just from home.
Okay.
I just work from my computer, sitting on my bed, just sitting on my chair, and that's what I do. I do from home. I can't drive. I don't have a car. I mean, if I had a car, I couldn't drive it because I have a license. Because
Okay.
my neurologist said no more driving. I was like, oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
That was like the biggest like slap in the face for me.
Yeah. Oh my
I mean,
God.
your independence is gone. Like, oh my God, that was really bad. And after that, when she was talking to me, I never heard anything that she said to that because I was in my own mind,
Yeah.
talking, like worrying about me not driving.
Yeah. I couldn't, thank God I have not gotten to that point yet. Hopefully I'll never get to that point, but I can't imagine that feeling when you're told, no, you shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. That's another mental drain, and that's another thing that people don't understand that we have to deal with. We have to deal with these things that we get stuff taken from us all the time, and we have to just cope with it.
Yeah, I mean, when she told me I can't drive anymore, I'm like, okay, so meaning you have to like stop your insurance, stop paying for your car, stop driving a car, call it Uber, and your whole mind has totally been changed. Your life has been changed, and that's kind of hard to like accept. But I haven't driven in years, so I just rely on my Uber and to take me wherever I have to go, because otherwise I go crazy staying in my house and not being able to see the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go crazy.
Yeah. So what do you do, like, because you're working from home, and I'm cooped up in the house too when it's wintertime for me. I know you're in California and it's sunny there, but I'm sitting in the house. I can't really go outside. So what do you do for your like motivation, if you're working from home all the time and you're not out there really mingling with people? How do you deal with that, like emotionally?
I do a lot of group settings, like having people having the same problem as me, as everybody else. But just talking to them, even on Zoom, just makes me more happy.
Yeah.
Talking to people like mentally, It's good. It's a good thing for me. And then I just have my neighbors, I talk to her a lot. I just talk to a lot of people because if I didn't, I would definitely lose it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, here, you're not in California, but here in California, you have a lot of, I'm a realtor. I'm not a realtor. I'm in real estate. And so you have a lot of choices, I guess, because prior to this, I was jewelry designer. So I did all of that stuff from home, and then I also went to my office, and that was good. But after my divorce, I didn't. And now I'm kind of back to doing this real estate thing again because I can't from home.
Yeah.
If I had to go in office, I don't think I could do that.
It's just so awesome that even though you had the occupation of being the jewelry designer taken away from you because of this disease, you didn't call it quits. You said, okay, well, here's a roadblock. I got to find a way around this roadblock, and I'll still be productive, and I'll get into real estate. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't do anything from home, I would think I'd go crazy. And this gives me something to do, makes me happy. I'm excited about this job that I have. But if I don't want to work, I don't have to because it's my own company, so I'm not that worried. That's
awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, and we're talking about a 27-year relationship with multiple sclerosis, and you just did not let any of that stop you, and you're still, hey, you know what? Bring it on. You dish it out. You dish it out. I'll take it, and I'm just going to keep on living my life. I love that, Leena. That is so awesome.
Because you can't let this stupid disease affect you and affect your life, and that I don't want it to. I mean, I was training for a marathon. Found out I had MS. I'm like, okay, what are you trying to do here? I'm running a marathon, and I have to stop that because of this stupid disease.
Yeah.
And I did, but maybe later. I don't know about later because my knees aren't doing so well. I'll do it, but I didn't. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I'll do something. I biked it. I rollerbladed it, but that's it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll do something else, and we'll see.
Yeah.
See how I feel.
But the bottom line is that we never quit. I don't know the word. I don't know what the meaning of that word is. Quit. You know what? I've never quit anything in my life, and I will never quit fighting with this disease.
Yeah, that's a positive mindset. That's really great that you have that.
Yeah, and so
some
do you.
People don't.
Yeah, so do you, Leena. And I know that this disease, in especially in the beginning, especially when you're like even in between even being diagnosed and being diagnosed, and it's a very hard time. Your head's spinning, and it will come all together, and it will calm down. But it's going to be a process, and it's something that is doable, and people just need to know that you can do it. You got it.
It might take some more work, but you can do it for sure.
Yeah.
But it depends on, I think being on the medication has really helped me like focus and try to get my life together. And after my divorce and after, dealing with all of life, you kind of have to deal with it. And I did. And I feel like I did a good job.
Yeah.
But I'm still doing it, but it just, sometimes some days are harder than others.
Yeah.
And, you kind of have to just take it by I don't want to say it, but take it by the balls and figure it out.
You could say that. You could say that. Okay. You could say that. Yeah, you could say whatever you want. No, I totally agree with you, Leena, because this disease, if you don't do that, this disease you'll end up in a wheelchair sooner than not if you just sit there and don't fight. And I know people that are in wheelchairs and they might be there in 10 years, but they put up a hell of a battle for 10 years. And it's just, you got to fight. From the day one that you get that diagnosis, you got to say, okay, let's go, game on. I'm going to be a badass and I'm going to kick this thing's ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, in the beginning, I wasn't like that because I didn't even know what it was. As the years went on, I became more educated. Then, yeah, definitely. If you keep a positive mindset, and if you lose that, then you're kind of screwed. But if you stay positive, it's good. You're trying your best. PT, you're stretching, you're exercising, you're doing whatever it takes to get the shit out of you, basically.
Yeah.
And that's kind of. It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still doing my PT. Chiropractor, like now that you said that about this MS thing, I'm going to ask her about it.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
But she brought it up to me. I'm going to ask her about it.
I'd be interested to hear what your chiropractor says. You'll have to let me know because, like I said, I go to this guy and he treats a bunch of MS patients. So I don't know if every chiropractor has that knowledge or if it's just a specialty. I don't know enough about chiropractic practice to know that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'll ask her next week.
Yeah,
I'll find out. But I'm sure if she knows I have MS, I'm sure she knows something.
Yeah.
She would tell me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I feel like she hasn't.
Yeah.
She only talks about like other diseases and not MS. So I don't know. And I think they're pretty much similar. Like strokes, if you have stroke patients, I know she deals with that. And I don't know what the diseases they have, but and like even my physical therapist is the same thing. It depends on your disease, and he's good at MS. He's an MS expert when it comes to the PT, and so which is great for me because I don't know what to do, and he knows what to do, like stretching wise, like what to do, like certain exercises, like walking. I was walking without assistance prior to my back hurting for 2 weeks. I was walking, and I couldn't believe it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great!" And then all of a sudden, I jinxed myself and my back for 2 weeks, and that kind of sucked.
You're going to get back. But you'll get back there, Leena. I know you will, because you're a 27-year warrior like me. So I know you'll get there because you never quit. If you had one more thing, if you had one more thing that you wanted to say to the people that are listening, just to something to motivate them to keep on fighting, keep on looking for answers, what would that be that you would tell them, Leena?
Yeah, don't lose hope. Just keep a positive mindset, and that's all you can do. And just, even if it's talking to people, socializing, just keep active and do something. And don't just sit there still, because then you're going crazy and then you'll go crazy yourself. So just be positive and just, unfortunately, we have to deal with it, but we'll deal with it in a positive way.
Yeah, I love it, Leena. So, you are such a positive person. I'm so happy that I got to meet you, and I'm so happy that I had the chance to talk to you, and you sat down with me and recorded this episode. I really appreciate you, and I would love to have you on again in the future if you would like to come back on and continue to talk about MS. I mean, because we're getting to the point where we're veterans at this disease.
That's right. We're pros at this one.
Yeah.
We'll just stay positive. That's all I have to say. If you don't stay positive, then you're screwed, basically. But I mean, people that I know that have MS, they're all very positive people that I've talked to. Yeah. Everyone is on DMTs, and they're exercising and trying to get themselves better, but it just takes time.
Yep.
And have patience. And I hate that word patience because I don't have any patience.
Yeah.
But with this disease, you have to.
Yep. There's no doubt about that. So it's okay. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. You have to have patience with this disease.
We definitely learned that.
Thank you so much, Leena.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for having me.
For joining me. This is MS Michigan Man 64 podcast. Till my next episode, please follow, share, subscribe to the podcast. Leave any comments down below for me or for Leena, and I will be happy to answer them. But until the next episode, this is MS Michigan Man 64. I am out.